Goku, with a face no one had ever seen before, expressionless eyes without pupils, and a chilling, almost demonic laugh, stood at the center of the storm. His body glowed with an unquenchable white fire, and golden luminous markings appeared across his skin. A distant voice shouted, "Goku, stop! If you don't calm down, the planet will collapse!" But there was no answer. Goku's gaze was empty. As if every trace of his humanity had vanished. In a single moment, he slowly raised his hand. Blast! The magical barrier Whis had created to protect the planet exploded. The sky cracked open, and the planet split in half in the void of space. Whis's voice echoed from afar, "No! Goku, stop!" But it was too late. The overwhelming energy destroyed everything around them. In an instant, Whis appeared amid the chaos, extending his radiant staff, surrounding Bardock, who was lying on the ground, with an energy aura, and teleporting him inside a floating magic cube that pierced through the storm and flew away at an impossible speed. Inside, Bardock lay on the floor of the cube, his breathing ragged. Whis sat before him, running his staff over Bardock's body to heal his wounds. Bardock, angrily, with tears, "What? Where am I? Whis, you traitor! I'll kill you!" Whis, sadly, with melancholy, "Calm down, Bardock. This is for all of us." Bardock froze, confused. Whis quickly explained everything that had happened, but Bardock refused to believe it. "Why did you do this, Whis? You've awakened a monster inside my son. He's completely lost control." Whis, with a strained voice and a face full of regret, said, "I'm sorry, Bardock. I had no other choice. If we didn't awaken him now, we would have no hope against what's coming." Bardock, standing painfully, "What's coming? You mean the Grand Priest?" Whis nodded slowly, his eyes glowing with a dim light. Yes, he felt it. The barrier that hid our energy had already begun to fade. It would have disappeared in moments even before Goku shattered it. And now, he knows where we are. Bardock was silent for a moment, then clenched his fist until blood dripped from it. "And what about Goku? He'll face them alone?" Whis turned toward the transparent glass, where the shattered planet could be seen drifting apart in the darkness. "I know, Bardock, I know. But we have no time. We must gather allies before the real war begins." Bardock, shouting, "What war? Who could possibly stand against the Grand Priest and Zeno?" Whis, his voice soft, almost a whisper, "The coming war will not be between the rulers alone. The Saiyan power is evolving too fast. They know well that tormenting you both will not work. Even if they kill you, this won't end." Whis paused, took a deep breath as if gathering his thoughts, and continued, "Tell me, Bardock, have you ever heard of the founder of the Saiyans?" Bardock, mockingly, "What? Never heard of that before. Is there really something like a founder of the Saiyans? Aren't those just myths?" Whis, with a sharp gaze, replied, "No one has ever seen him, but all of my kind feared to even speak his name. The power that Goku unleashed, it may have broken the seal placed upon the laws of creation since the dawn of the universes, and that could awaken him from his slumber. That's all I know. I don't know his form, his strength, or anything else about him. No one does." Deep within the celestial palace, a realm only beings who ruled over worlds could enter, the council had gathered. The grand hall shimmered with blue essence, and even the air itself rang like a hymn of awe. The Grand Priest stood high above the assembly. His voice, calm as death, sliced through the silence. "They've crossed the line. Goku and his father Bardock along with Whis. The laws of the universes are no longer respected. What do you propose?
Liqueer stood up coldly. I suggest we annihilate both of them immediately. Saiyans only learn through death, and this time we must show no mercy. Then Sidra, the god of destruction of Universe 9, spoke with a chilling smile. Killing them won't be enough. If they die, they'll return stronger through the cosmic energy cycle. I propose the eternal hell prison, where memory is erased and the soul is severed from the body. But before anyone could answer, Beerus's sharp voice cut through the silence like a blazing blade. Eternal hell? Foolishness! Anyone who believes that will stop Goku is an idiot. All eyes turned toward him. He continued, his tone furious and tense. Saiyans evolve by facing the impossible. Even in hell, he would be reborn with power none of us could control. When that happens, not I, not you, not even Zeno-sama himself will be able to stop him. A dreadful silence fell upon the hall. The Grand Priest turned his gaze towards Beerus, a faint smile curling his lips. Your words reek of fear, Beerus. Are you afraid of your own student? Beerus bit his lip and said nothing. Then a soft feminine voice rose from the back seats. It was Vados, sister of Whis and attendant of the god of destruction of Universe 6. I have an idea. Everyone turned to her. The air itself trembled, and even the other attendants looked at her with unease. The Grand Priest gestured calmly. Step forward, Vados. Speak your mind. She smiled faintly and said, We won't kill him, nor send him to hell. Instead, we'll send him to the eternal Dark Castle. The silence that followed was louder than thunder. Everyone in the room shuddered. Some stepped back, others tried to leave out of fear. Even Zeno from his palace froze as he watched. The eternal Dark Castle, a forbidden place since the birth of the universes, a prison beyond reality, where there is no time, no light, only absolute nothingness and eternal darkness. All who entered were never mentioned again. It is said that something exists there, neither creature nor demon, something that makes anyone who enters beg only for death. The Grand Priest slowly opened his eyes, a terrifying look spreading across his face, then laughed quietly, a laugh that made the entire hall tremble. What a brilliant idea, Vados! Such rare intelligence from my little daughter.
His gaze burned with a dark, ember-like light as he said, Yes, the eternal Dark Castle, a place even I do not dare to enter. If Goku is sent there, he will never return. Beerus whispered to himself, his voice barely audible, This is madness. They'll drag us all to our end. But the Grand Priest didn't care. He raised his hand, and a mighty voice echoed across all 12 universes. From this moment forth, I declare the beginning of war. The objective, eliminate Goku and Bardock before the original instinct becomes a power that threatens the throne itself. The grand hall exploded with cries of fervor, and the angels and rulers of destruction began preparing. Meanwhile, on the other side of the universe, Earth was saturated with a strange energy since the collapse of the unknown planet. The clouds swirled slowly, and the ground trembled now and then for no reason. On a distant mountain, Vegeta stood alone, sweat dripping from his brow. His furious voice echoed among the rocks. With a single punch, he obliterated the mountain's peak and shouted while panting, "Damn it! Even Bardock reached it! Him too! Goku, his father, everyone surpasses me! Why me? I'm the Prince of Saiyans! I should be the first to reach the top!" Vegeta, in a low, trembling voice, "I've sacrificed everything, fought to the death countless times, yet every time, he's the one who rises above." Suddenly, he heard a voice behind him, calm, yet filled with indescribable majesty. "Calm yourself, Vegeta. You deserve it, but you're searching for it in the wrong place." Vegeta turned swiftly, ready to fight, but what he saw made him freeze for a moment. Before him stood a figure he knew well, surrounded by a transparent aura, holding a long staff in his hands. Vegeta whispered, "Whis and Bardock, I can't believe you're alive, so it's true then." But Bardock didn't answer. His mind was clouded with thoughts of his son, but Whis stepped closer with calm and graceful movements and said with a faint smile, "It's your turn now, Prince of Saiyans." Vegeta frowned, clenched his fist, and muttered angrily, "Did you come to mock me too? To tell me I'm not worthy like Goku?" Whis slowly shook his head and said, "Quite the opposite. You're the closest among them all, but you seek instinct through force, not through clarity. Instinct is not anger, it's calm within chaos. And because you're a prince, your pride prevents the stillness you need." He then added, his tone firm yet solemn, "This is not a request, but a command to save your bloodline. Your kind is on the brink of extinction." Vegeta was stunned, unable to believe what Whis had just said. He stepped back slightly, his eyes widening. Stillness, calm. How can I be calm while the world burns? Whis replied quietly, "That's exactly why I'm here with you now. You'll learn to fight without hatred, to strike without the intent to kill, to become the blade that carries no will to attack." Vegeta was silent for several seconds, then lifted his head, his eyes blazing with determination not seen in ages. "Then teach me, no matter the cost. I won't let Goku or any Saiyan surpass me ever again." Whis turned toward Bardock, whose face burned with anger and vengeance, and said to him, "I have something for you during Vegeta's training."
While the Grand Priest was discussing Vardos's terrifying plan with the others, a heavy silence filled the Divine Palace, as if time itself had stopped turning. Then a black shadow appeared in the middle of the assembly. It moved slowly, without a sound, its features invisible, as though it existed between being and nothingness. No one felt its entrance, no one noticed its presence, yet it was there, listening to every word spoken, a ghost waiting for the moment of detonation. Beerus, wearing a cold smirk, spoke mockingly. "So that's how we'll get rid of the two of them. A perfectly crafted plan. And what about Whis? I suppose he's betrayed us as well. He doesn't deserve to be reinstated as an attendant." But the moment he spoke Whis's name, the air itself changed. The black shadow trembled violently, and the entire hall quaked as though something deep within it had awakened from an ancient slumber. In a single instant, Beerus felt something behind him, something so terrifying it made his skin crawl.
It was a familiar energy, yet one he had never felt so pure, so cold, and so furiously hateful. He couldn't even turn around. Suddenly, a black hand grabbed him by the ears and lifted him into the air as if he were a small rabbit caught in the jaws of a starving tiger.
A muffled cry escaped Beerus's throat, and the faces of the rulers froze in absolute shock. The stranger's voice roared like thunder, filled with wrath and loathing. "I'll kill you, cat! I'll kill all of you, one by one! Where's Frieza? Where is that insect?" The hall shook from the echo of his voice. Space itself cracked for a moment, before Beerus gathered every bit of Hakai energy in his core and screamed in rage. A violent explosion illuminated the palace, a wave of immense power throwing everyone backward. Beerus broke free from the grip, panting, his face covered in dust, but the mysterious figure was gone, vanished as silently as it had appeared. The Grand Priest stood firm, his expression void of emotion, though his eyes gleamed with something far from calm. Seems he's one of Whis's followers, so Whis has begun gathering allies. Then he smiled coldly and added, "Excellent. That means the war is near." At the same moment, on Earth, a sudden light burst and entered Bardock's body. Which lay unconscious on the ground. His body trembled violently from the shock. He opened his eyes wide and screamed in a hoarse voice, "I saw them! I saw them all!" We shouted angrily, "I told you not to touch anyone! I said the invisibility energy doesn't work if you make contact with a living being!" Bardock approached him quietly, his face calm, but his eyes were full of turmoil. "I couldn't stop myself, Whis. Beerus was talking about you, about me, about Goku. If you'd heard the hatred in his voice, you'd understand my anger." Whis's voice rose, fury burning within him. "You've ruined everything! Now they know we're watching them! They'll be cautious!" But before he could continue, Whis placed his hand on Bardock's shoulder and said in a strange, calm tone, "It doesn't matter. We heard enough. The Grand Priest has decided your fate, death or eternal imprisonment in the Dark Castle. I didn't expect this. This is the worst thing that could happen." Time seemed to stop for a moment, the air around them shifting. Bardock stood slowly, his fists trembling. "What's happening?" he muttered. Then, his final roar thundered through the sky like a scream from the depths of hell. Far away, on planet Vegeta, a violent surge of energy erupted. Vegeta's body began to shine with a bright silver aura mixed with blue lightning. His eyes glowed like an ocean under the midnight sky. He had entered Ultra Instinct, Perfect Form, Level 2. His power crackled with divine lightning. Even Bardock had never reached such a state. We smiled faintly. "It seems someone else has joined our side, Bardock." Meanwhile, on the hidden planet, meteor-like lights rained down on the shattered surface, right near Goku. All the rulers of destruction and their attendants had arrived to capture him, but one question remained. Who is the founder of the Saiyans? The one said to be awakening from his slumber because of Goku's unleashed power. Will he be an ally or an enemy? And the greatest question of all, what will happen in the coming war against Goku? Whoever gives the closest answer, his words shall rise above all others.